Welcome to this Getting Started video on dashboards and stories. You can download the exercise workbook to follow along in your own copy of Tableau. Dashboards are a way to present one or more views, often with filters, legends, and interactivity tying all the views together. Dashboards can include sheets, text, images, and web pages. Stories in Tableau are narrated walkthroughs of one or more sheets or dashboards. For example, leading the audience through a discovery you made as you were analyzing the data. Each view or dashboard in a story is called a story point. Any view that is brought into a dashboard or story is simply a window to the underlying worksheet. For the most part, changes made on one sheet, whether it's a view or a dashboard, will carry through to the other places that content is in use. Stories have slightly different behavior. To illustrate how changes ripple through the workbook, we'll execute a series of alterations on this simple scatter plot and see where the changes show. Once content has been added to a story, it only tracks changes as long as it has been unmodified on the story. Any changes made to content in a story do not reach back and update the underlying content. Dashboards do reach back and update the underlying content. The details of what we're about to do don't really matter so much as the general understanding of when changes will impact other sheets. First, we'll bring this scatter plot to the dashboard and the story. Go back to the scatter plot and add category to color. Verify the changes reflect on the dashboard and the story. If we're ever on a dashboard or story and we easily want to get back to the specific sheet, it's highlighted on the left and there's a Go to Sheet icon. On the scatter plot, uncheck Technology. Verify that the dashboard and the story change. On the dashboard, we'll uncheck Furniture. This should carry through, and the story and the scatter plot are only orange. On the story, we'll retick Technology. Now, because this is a story, we should see that the dashboard and the scatter plot did not change. Modifying the story's filter doesn't make changes anywhere else, unlike on the dashboard. Here on the scatter plot, we'll recheck Furniture. The dashboard should match, but the story won't. Once we've modified the story's filter, the view no longer tracks filter changes that were made elsewhere. On the scatter plot, add Market to Shape. Verify that the dashboard and story have those shapes. We hadn't modified the shape on the story, so it continues to track those changes from the scatter plot. As we can see, there's a great deal of interplay between the sheets. Once again, for the most part, changes made on one piece of content, whether it's a view or dashboard, will carry through to the other places that content is in use. But if it's been added to a story, the changes are only tracked so long as it is unmodified on the story. Duplicating sheets for use in dashboards and stories can be useful if a view is used in multiple places and we want to maintain control of any changes. To duplicate a sheet, right-click on the Sheet tab and select Duplicate. We could now use a separate copy on the story and the dashboard. If the finished dashboard or story is the main purpose of the workbook, it can be a best practice to hide all the other content so it doesn't distract from the main goal. Right-click on a Sheet tab and select Hide Sheet. To hide a sheet, it must be in use either in a dashboard or story, or the option will not be available. This is because if the sheet isn't used somewhere, there'd be no way to get it back once it was hidden. If modifications need to be made on a hidden sheet, go to the dashboard or story where that sheet is in use, and from the list of available views, either click on the Go to Sheet icon, this will temporarily bring up the sheet, and clicking off it will hide it again, or right-click and unhide the sheet right here. Thank you for watching this Getting Started with Dashboards and Stories training video. To learn how to build a dashboard or story, we invite you to continue with the videos in this section.